Hey, Chris K here with Parrot Baby TV. I got Noelle over my shoulder, the Harlequin macaw. She's amazing. You want to say hello? She's taking it all in. But we have 3 baby African Congo Greys, and we're going to hand feed them. So I want to take you step by step how to hand feed a baby parrot. There's a lot of different information. I'm going to show you my way, and we'll go step by step on how to hand feed 3 beautiful little baby parrots. We already have nicknames for them. We have Gabby, she loves to gab. We have Penny, very sensitive, very introverted. And then we have Tiny, who has become bigger than all 3 of them, which is kind of funny. So come with me. And I got Kiwi on my back, of course. Can't go anywhere with Kiwi. My favorite, well, I shouldn't say favorite. We don't pick favorites, but. All right, so I do things differently than other people. We all do our things differently, but I use black gloves, so this is the gloves I use. One thing I found with that, they're large, but they're still tight. So I just put some air in there, make it easier to put on. Cut to me having both gloves on. All right, so let me take you through kind of the setup. I have 3 syringes, and you might say, why do you have 3 syringes? So this is a syringe. They're open tip, there's no needle or anything. And they're 20 mLs, or some people say 20 cc's. So I'll show you how we do this. Let's put this to the side. I have these other 2 syringes. I personally like to put a little bit of olive oil on the tip of the syringe and then on the sides, because it just makes sure that the syringes just flow better. The last thing you want is for the syringe to get stuck, and then you push hard and a huge burst of food goes into the bird. It could injure the bird, could hurt the bird. So brand new syringe is really solid. Each bird has its own syringe, so that's just to avoid cross-contamination. And then I have a thermometer. So if you go by the KT Exact, we use KT Exact hand feeding high fat. I have been thinking about using Hagen formula as well. I've heard great things about that. But on this formula, it says to keep your 2 parts water for 1 part food for anything that's over 5 days of age. Roughly, obviously always read the instructions, but it asks to, I put this in the refrigerator, I'm done, but cool mixture to 105, between 102 and 110. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take, I've already put this on, this has been heated. I use a tea kettle, electric tea kettle, easiest thing I found. I personally don't like microwaving the food, only because it could create hot pockets. This is the most consistent that I found for the temperature and the food. And then what we're gonna do, I buy these rags that I use once, and then I wash them from Amazon, very cheap. I buy 100 at a time, so I have them. So then we're gonna get, this is a 1/4 cup that we're using right now. And then just slowly, if you wanna get how I get it in so I avoid clumping, I just put a little bit at a time. So right now, I'm just getting just a little bit at a time. And right now the formula is really hot, which is, I kind of like it. I'll put 2 ice cubes to cool it down. Also adds water to the mixture, so we'll just wait to see where we're at. I'll show you the consistency I like. Too thick, I don't like that because it could get stuck in their crop and not pass through. So I do a little bit more than 2 parts water to 1 part food to make sure that we have a good consistency there. So now the thing we're going to do now is I got a thermometer. We're going to check the temperature. So right now this is 1015, 102. It's going to go up to like 103, 104. The ice cube cooled it down. 104, there you go. 105. So I'm going to take this out for now, and we're going to just add a little bit more hot water. And then we're going to add the remaining food. All right, so now let's check the temperature. So now we're at 108, 109. 110. Now I'll put the thermometer around, so it's about 110 and change. You can see right there now it's going down in temp because it's out. So by the time we actually feed the birds, if it's at 110 now, it'll drop a few degrees to the optimal temp. So that's the main thing there. So now we're gonna take a Ziploc this, we put this right back in the, see it says right here, this is high fat for the African grays, the macaws. So I do like the high fat diet. This bag in the US costs anywhere from $32 to $50. And then we're gonna, we will feed the birds outside, and then everything gets sterilized after we're done. So follow me as we go outside to film the feeding of the beautiful African grays. All right, so we got the African gray babies. We're gonna film out here, give them some sunshine. Now, we usually do this inside, but we wanna give them some sunshine, plus it looks really nice. It's warm out here in Florida. So here we go. So first thing we're gonna do is, let's use this one so you could see. We have the 20 mLs. They eat about 30 right now, 30 cc's. So we're gonna just put it in here. And we're gonna, there's always air pockets. So we wanna get the air pockets out. And that's why we have these rags here. Get all the excess out. So we're gonna feed Tiny first, youngest first. Come here, Tiny. Tiny's the best eater. So we're gonna hold Tiny's head up so gently. And now Tiny, nice and easy. I just go at the speed Tiny. Now Tiny is a fast eater, so we go at the speed of Tiny. So Tiny just ate 20 cc's. Now we're gonna give him an extra 10. Come on, Tiny. Tiny is all excited to eat. Come on, Tiny. We'll hold up to the side of his beak, because that's where the mother usually will stimulate the feeding. Now we're gonna go Gabby, the oldest. Gabby's hungry, so we're gonna get Gabby some food. This doesn't have any air pockets. Come on, Gabby. You wanna eat? There you go, nice and easy, nice and easy. I recommend, if it's your first time, to move slower. Come on, Gabby. Until you're comfortable. Especially for beginners, a bent spoon is usually used. And it's a little bit messier, but it's a great way to start. You don't want to, what's called, aspirate the birds, and what that means is you don't want it to go down the wrong pipe and then the birds are choking on the food. So now I'm just massaging the side of the beak, waiting for her or him. We're still waiting for the DNA. There you go. So now I have this wet rag. We're gonna clean the beak off. So Gabby, you have a clean beak. Tiny, get over here. Let's clean you off. And now Penny, who's the pickiest eater, will be the last one. Come on, Penny. Let's get you going. So Penny, we use a pellet substrate because we just find that with a lot of bird people, with the pine shavings, a lot of babies will swallow the pine shavings and it gets stuck. Whereas if they do swallow a pellet, it'll dissolve and it'll pass through. So now Penny, I go nice and slow because Penny eats slower than the other two. So every bird has its own personality. She's hungry. She likes to eat little gulps. So we just wait for Penny. There you go, Penny. You okay? Penny's eating. Penny got some. There you go. Come on, Penny. A little bit more. Now, one thing I will tell you, I don't know if this is people in the bird world, but a lot of people will say a lot of, they'll give feedback in a way that's not constructive. And what I would recommend is, if you want to help another human being, especially someone getting started in aviculture, seek to understand what they're trying to do and then offer feedback in a way that it can be received. All too often I see people in the bird world judging one another, making each other wrong. And that is not really a lot of ability for growth. So my goal is to help people get started, to learn about how to do these things. So these birds right now just ate. We're gonna put them in, we have a little bin. I took them outside just so we could have a nice setting to film this, otherwise we would do it inside. But this is Gabby, this is Tiny, and this is Penny. They already have their personalities. Gabby loves to talk, it's really friendly. Tiny is huge. Tiny's gonna be huge. And then Penny is like a little introverted bookworm. So obviously their personalities will change as they grow, but right now the foundation is being laid out. So we spend time with them and play with them. So I'm gonna bring them inside to get them going. So, all right, you guys ready? Let's get going. All right, so right now what I'm doing is I'm just getting some broccoli. I'm cutting it up here in the kitchen just so the birds could play with some food. And broccoli has these little, whatever you want to call it, the little broccoli things. So we're going to put this in here. So I got some Zupreme natural pellets. We'll put them in here. This will get their beaks going. Let's put some more so it's a little higher. It gets them, and then millet spray, it gets them starting to pick at food, especially when they're hungry in between feedings. My wife and a lot of people will say, hey, the birds keep asking for food. Evolutionary baby parrots always ask for food because they never know when the parent's coming into the nest to eat. And the food gets stored in the crop, okay? That's this part over here. The crop is a holding area for food. Well, sometimes parents don't come back for a while if they haven't found food. So the birds have to store the food there. So they're always asking for food because they never know when their next meal shows up. And the ones that are the most aggressive, usually the ones that survive in the nest. So that's just an evolutionary thing. So just because they're asking for food doesn't mean you have to feed them 24/7. When they're about this age, at 6 weeks old, you feed them about 3 times a day. Some people do smaller feedings 4 times a day. But at night, you can feed them at 11 p.m., get 6-7 hours of sleep, and then feed them first thing in the morning to give you a break as well. But this is the episode of the baby African Greys. I love these guys. We're gonna miss Gabby. Gabby just loves to gab. Tiny is gonna be ginormous. He was the smallest because he was the youngest. And then Penny's got her own little sensitivities. She's still asking for food, but her crop, you'll see their crop is full of food right now. So they'll be fed in about another 6 or 7 hours. I'm Chris K with Parrot Baby TV signing over now.